Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Storytime. This week, it's time to get wet. I didn't like that. I didn't like that intro at all. That's why I can't get a LaCroix sponsor. This week on Storytime, we gonna splash that ass. Doesn't even make sense. I don't know why I do these things. Wearing a yellow shirt, who the fuck owns one of these? Like I'm trying to be a Blue's Clues character or some shit. Roll the intro. Welcome back this week where I tell you the tale of how I lost CIF for my swim team. Now that's a dramatic way to say it, but this is story time. I'm not here to just give you facts and information. I'm telling a story, goddammit. Now here's the thing, for you to understand this story, you have to know a little bit about my life. I grew up doing two sports mainly, boxing and swimming. I started swimming when I was just a little feller. They had me out there in the water doing like the baby and me swim lessons where I just tried not to die and didn't know what I was. I thought I was back in the womb and shit, you know? Have you ever seen those videos where they just throw babies in pools? I'm like, dude, that thing just got out of the womb and you're trying to make it do a 50 free? What's wrong with you? Fun fact, my high school swim coach happened to be the first person that gave me swim lessons when I was just a little toddler. Shout out to Coach Mark. We're still gonna fight one day, out of principle. You know why. I should have never been in swimming. I don't even look like the same species as Michael Phelps. If aliens came down right now and they saw me standing next to Michael Phelps, they would be like, I'm pretty sure that one owns that one. To be honest, I don't even know if I would want to be Michael Phelps. You're cool for like 1 week, every 4 years, and the rest of the time everybody's just making fun of the way you look. I don't know if that's for me. Let's be honest, no one cares about swimming. It's a leisure activity. No one meets up for a game of pickup swimming, you know? If a buddy called me and was like, hey bro, let's go swim, I'd be like, bro, tell me right now, are you trying to fuck me? Because that's the only reason you're trying to get me into a Speedo on a Tuesday afternoon. I digress. The point is, I'm not built like a swimmer. I remember the first time I actually got in a sport like boxing, where it was an equal playing field of height and weight. I thought I was goddamn Thanos. I hit someone and I was like, reality is whatever I make it now. So by the time I got into high school, I was a decent swimmer, and it wasn't by any God-given talent. It was just how much time I had devoted to swimming. So as a freshman, I made it to CIF in the 500 freestyle. Here's the thing, I was ranked 17th for finals. So what that means is, to place in the top 16, I was an alternate, meaning that if someone dropped out for finals, I would be able to take their place. And this was a big deal for me. I remember I thought it was so cool that I could get a chance to swim in finals and be top 16 and all of that. Being in top 16 at finals, you contribute points to your overall team score. I thought that was gonna be really cool, but I wouldn't know if I was gonna make it to finals until finals was about to start. So I had to go through the entire day, the night, the next day, wondering if I was gonna get the opportunity to swim in finals and score points for my team. And it wasn't until warm-up started for finals, I was in the bathroom, in a stall, Long Beach, Belmont Plaza. You know how when you get nervous before a sporting event and you can just like, your stomach's a mess? I'm like, well, I gotta go to the bathroom. Hashtag Hoover Dam. And I'm sitting there and I'm just doing like my 8 Mile thing, and I'm just like, we can do it. Someone's gonna drop out. You gotta believe, achieve, succeed, manifestation. Side note, I can't stand when people say they're manifesting their destiny. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. But I'm sitting there and I'm just like, man, just let me swim. Put me in, coach. And then all of a sudden, like a miracle, boom, boom, boom. Coach Mark, kind of creepy, he knows what stall I was in. He just goes, Evan, someone dropped out. You're in the finals. And cue the Avengers theme song. I'm like, I'm fucking ready. I get warmed up, I'm stretching, I'm getting in the zone. I'm probably listening to like Eminem, 50 Cent, Run Rabbit Run, you know, till I collapse. Those are my go-tos before any big race. But I remember at the time, my 500 freestyle wasn't that fast. I don't know exactly what it was, but I remember from the day before to finals just being so amped up, I dropped like 14 or 15 seconds in the 500. I was so stoked. I couldn't believe it because I was running on pure Rudy energy. I remember I beat someone who like I never expected to beat in the finals. But I remember my best friend, Matt Smith, he's not really my best friend anymore. He's a piece of shit. He lives in Texas. Comes up to me after the race and I touch the wall and I beat the guy. Matt doesn't say good job or anything like that. He just looks at me and goes, huh, you beat David. And then just walks away. Didn't say good job, congratulations, wow, good race. He just says that I beat that other person. Obviously David's a fake name. And I was so stoked. It was a huge deal for me. I remember I went on that night to eat 5 double chili cheeseburgers from Tommy's, and I set the high school record for the first freshman to eat 5 double chili cheeseburgers from Tommy's Burgers. There's a picture. If I can find it, I'll link it right here. Boom. And I remember it was so cool. I set the chili cheeseburger record. I was more proud of that than actually making it to finals. But I remember I got home at like 11 at night, and my brother Sean had like made this huge banner for me. Sean was an amazing swimmer, and Sean like took the time to make me a giant banner. He had heard that I made finals, and he just wrote like, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. It was really cool to come home to that. But here's the catch. We had tied for second that night at finals. The first place team, which we didn't count them because we didn't have a dive team. They won first place overall because the men's team, we didn't have a dive team. So we had tied for second, which technically to us, because if you're looking at the swim team only, we would have gotten first. But here's where things get crazy. The person that I had replaced in finals got my points, and they might have just been like 4 points only. But here's the thing, that was a tiebreaker. We didn't get those points. They were given to this other person who I'll name Chris Budson. Chris Budson, you piece of shit. You took my goddamn points. Not only did you take my points, you took my team's victory. We should have been second, which technically meant we were first. And we lost that because you dropped out of the race and you took my goddamn points. Those are my points. I earned. I took that fear shit. You didn't. I showed up. I told them what time it was. So we don't find out till later that I didn't even get my points. They gave them to this other person, Chris Budson. It was like some Russia tampering with the elections level shit. I think, there was a conspiracy. And the conspiracy was keep a Puerto Rican kid down. Not the same without LaCroix. So here's where things start getting funny. Coach Mark won't let this go. The rest of that year and the entire next year of swim season, all everybody called me was Chris Budson. They just kept calling me Chris Budson. He took my fucking points. I swam for him. So technically I'm Chris Budson all year. Hey, Chris Budson, you swim the 500? Fuck you guys. I hate the 500, but I'm short and I got stumpy legs, so this is all I can do. So yes, I will be swimming the 500 this year as Evan Lopez. Now I think from freshman year to sophomore year, a boy goes through changes and he becomes a man. And naturally, I start working harder, start putting on some more muscle. Yeah, baby, now we're cooking with gas. I'm working hard. I'm making it into CIF again. Not only that, I'm going faster than I was the year before because I was driven by hate and resentment. Chris Budson, you took a lot from me and I'm coming to get it back. I make it back in the CIF. Not only that, Coach Mark comes up to me before the meet. He has all the seeds and where you're gonna be racing and who's gonna be in your heat. And he goes, Evan, you're never gonna believe this. Guess who's in the lane next to you in the 500? Chills ran down my body. And I go, you gotta be kidding me. Say it ain't so, Coach. Chris Budson. And I remember right before the 500, I warm up and I'm talking to Coach Mark. He goes, Evan, you gotta say something to him. You gotta tell him what time it is. And I say, okay, I'll let him know what time it is. It's Evan time. It's the best I could come up with right now. So I walk behind my lane and I'm waiting for him to show up. I don't even know what this fuck face looks like at this time. Cause you know what? I'm him. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting for him to show up. And I don't see him anywhere. So I'm just finally, it comes time for me to stand behind the blocks and they announce our names and all that shit. I stand next to my block and I look over and there he is. There stands a man, probably like 6'2". White fella, of course, with a name like Chris Budson. And I walk up to him and I just look at him and wait for him to look at me. And then I go, you don't know me, but I know you. And then I just back away. He doesn't say anything. He just looks at me and is like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Because then I realize he has no idea what even happened. He doesn't know that we've had this long-standing beef for an entire year. He's kind of flabbergasted by it, I can tell. And it just keeps looking over and he's like, I don't know who this kid is, but whatever, he's like 5 foot tall. I'm gonna destroy him. We hit the blocks. Swimmers, take your mark. Beep. We hit the water. I'm splishing and I'm a splashing. Mark told me, take the first 100 out easy, okay? Don't blow your load. Giggity. We're going. I remember at like the 200 mark, he was like 2 body lengths ahead of me. And even I was a little worried. But you know what? I was driven by hate. And I remember I just keep going. I'm like, you can't let this motherfucker tell you what time it is after you just told him you know him and that he doesn't know you. He's not gonna know you if you don't beat him right now. So I just Take it in hyperdrive. I do it for all the short people out there who are told they could never be fast swimmers. Just pow, 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 pow. Just a little engine that could, kind of. A shorter person versus a taller person is like, he's swimming a 500, I'm swimming a 600, like equivalent of how much distance we have to travel per our body size. It's just physics. And I remember we get down to the last 100, I'm starting to gain on him. I'm like at his hips, comes down all the way to the last 50. And I remember just kicking into overdrive. Bah, 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 bah. And I touched the wall. I beat him, and I took back my honor, and I took back my name. I was no longer Chris Budson. I was Evan Tomas Lopez the First. My dad told me they thought about naming me Juan Carlos Saturnino Napoleon Lopez. Dad, I would have much rather had that name. But not only did I beat him and make it to finals, I made it to top 8, the real finals, not that semifinalist shit. I lived happily ever after. As much as I joke around about swimming, it does give you that discipline, being able to push through hard things and kind of tap into the next level to push through, especially if you're a distance swimmer. I swam the 400 IM all the time in college. You actually gotta be able to pull into some deeper shit rather than just conditioning. That's a battle of atrocity. That's a battle of attrition. That's the word I'm looking for. Not only did I win that battle that day, Coach Mark would just randomly come up to me all the time and he would just be like, you don't know me, but I know you. But it was great. I feel like that was the best possible thing that I could have said to him. What am I gonna explain everything to him? Hey, just so you know, we tied for second with the swimming portion only because you got my points and we would have technically got first out of the swimming portion, but yeah, I just want you to know that and good luck with this race. No, I wanted to be very vague, I wanted to be mysterious, and I wanted to like almost scare him, like maybe think I was gonna be like a school pool shooter or something like that, just getting his head a little bit. That's why I did it. The race doesn't start in the pool, that shit starts behind the blocks. Mental warfare, baby. But I hope you enjoyed story time. Join me next week when I tell the story of, I haven't picked a topic yet, so surprise. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or whatever that shit is. And remember, I love you. And also remember, you don't know me, but I know you.